What's up? I'd like to welcome everybody to another episode of All the Way Around. I'm your host, Big Al 360, along with my co-host,
Nick the Cat.
And we have the legend, DC, icon, super legend. This man needs no introduction, but we're going to introduce him anyway.
Why not?
DJ Kool.
Cool.
Yes, sir. What's happening?
Yo, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate this. Man, I can't explain enough how much we appreciate this. So we want to know about the whole DC go-go thing and your movement. And let's start. Where did DJ Kool? Well, before we even say where did you get your start, let's talk about your accolades. What are some of the things that DJ Kool is known for? What are you famous for? Who is DJ Kool?
Just like I was saying. Well, first of all, I'm from Washington, D.C., Southeast.
Born and raised.
Yeah, Southeast. I've been in this industry since 1977. I started as a DJ in 1977. Wow. So I'm from the era of people like Grandmaster Flash, Curtis Blow. The only difference is I'm from
the originals.
DC, you know what I mean? I became a recording artist in 1986 with a song called The Music Ain't Loud Enough.
Dope.
I was the first one in this area to actually mix, but probably period, to mix hip-hop and go-go. Like
so
sampling.
Back then,
I'm sorry,
DC wasn't into go-go, or wasn't.
No, they weren't in hip-hop.
They weren't into hip-hop.
A little bit.
Little something.
But just like I was saying off camera earlier, DC is a live music town. Yeah. And DC has been dominated by go-go since probably, I would say, mid-'70s, maybe mid to late '70s. Okay. Rest in peace to our godfather, our illustrious godfather, the icon Chuck Brown.
Let's get it.
All right. And so that was my whole thing. You know what I mean? I said when it was time for me to become an artist, and that's the reason why I started DJing, because I wanted to use that as a stepping stone to become an artist. Okay. My thing was I want people to know where I'm from. So I said, let me do like the Reese Cup type thing. I'm gonna mix my go-go with your hip hop and turn it into something else, and that's gonna be DJ Kool.
So real quick, what exactly is go-go for those that don't know?
Go-go that's a good question. There's levels to that.
Yeah, we need all the levels. Let's get
it. It's live music.
Okay.
Based on African percussion. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, Chuck Brown used to be a part of an Afro-Cuban band back in the day. I forget the name of the group right now. I kind of wish my man Nico Hobson was here, the go-goologist. He could tell you all of this stuff.
Okay, got you.
But I'm going to tell you to the best of my ability.
Let's get it.
It is a live form of music. The best way to act, and I tell people this all the time, the best way to appreciate go-go music, if you've never heard it, right, is to hear it and experience it live.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you got all the live musicians up there and, you know, coming through the big sound system. Yeah, you know, and it's real heavy on the percussion, real heavy on the bass. And I don't care what nationality you are, when them drums get to cranking,
you start moving.
It's over. I mean, I've seen this so many times.
Working with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So now, one of the questions I had was, what and why did go-go basically stay in the D.C. area, between D.C. and Baltimore?
I think, in my opinion, it's the business of go-go. We talk about this all the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think it's the business of go-go. I think a lot of moves that should have been made at pivotal times probably weren't made the right way. You know what I mean? I think some people probably got rubbed the wrong way. You know what I mean? I wasn't there, but it's just things, you know what I mean, that you hear floating around. But I promise you, it's probably some of the strongest music on the planet.
Oh, I believe
Any of these hip-hop cats will tell you that.
Yeah, because a lot of people sample the go-go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You ever go to go? I went to the go.
No, I went to a couple joints like that. Man, back in the day, Rare Essence.
Oh, there you go. That's my squad right there.
Rare Essence, EU,
Trouble Funk.
What was the kids? The Junkyard
Band, yes.
And what was the other one we were talking about on the phone? The ones that are hot now.
That's Backyard Band.
Backyard Band.
Shout out to my man, Big G and Winksy. Backyard Band. Yes, indeed.
Okay, and explain the Talk Man. The Talk Man. Go-Go, the guy that he's the Talk Man.
Lead talker. That's what we call
Lead
it.
talker.
Yeah.
Keeps it going.
Yeah, he's
keeps the party moving.
MC in a particular type of way. You know what I mean? But what he's doing, he's just up there, just like I said, keeping the party moving.
The entertainment.
He's shouting out all the hoods and, as we used to say back in the 80s, putting them on display. That means if I see you in the crowd, I'm calling your name, I'm putting you on display. I'm letting everybody know, you know what I mean? You're in
He's
the building.
in the house.
Yes, indeed.
He's here. He's present.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's your favorite? What is DJ Kool's favorite go-go band?
Don't do it. Don't
right?
do it. You're going to make sure.
I know. I'm Team Rare Essence.
Rare Essence.
But I love all of the bands for one reason or another. I love Chuck Brown for what he brought. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for Chuck, it wouldn't be none of us. Period. You wouldn't have me in the form that you have me in if
Gotcha.
it wasn't for Chuck Brown with this hip-hop go-go thing. There would be no go-go to put with the hip-hop if it wasn't for Chuck. You know what I mean? But if Sugar Bear from EU was here, he would tell you the same thing. You know what I mean? Okay. Chuck was the one that got him into, doing go-go music. EU originally was a rock band.
EU was a
Rock band.
I mean, a rock band for real.
Wow.
With the guitars and the whole nine.
Yes, they were rock band. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Chuck was like, nope, stop doing that. You need to do this.
Get the
Sugar Bear
percussions
listened,
involved.
And here comes Doing the Button, and the rest is history. Same thing with Trouble Funk. Trouble Funk was basically a top 40 band. But
so what they do, like cover songs?
Yeah, back then, you know what I mean? But if Big Tony was here, shout out to Big Tony from Trouble Funk, he would tell you that their whole thing with Chuck was they was opening for Chuck Brown a lot, and Chuck was smoking them every night. Matter of fact, Big Tony wasn't a lead talker back then. He was just a musician just playing bass. But he seen the way that Chuck was moving the crowd, with all the call and response and
Chuck was a
this
bad,
and that,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Chuck
The
was
interaction.
a bad
Yeah.
man.
And so he was like, man, if we want to hang with these dudes, we need to start doing what
step
they
it up.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the most part, Chuck Brown birthed everybody. Rare Essence, they used to call them the baby soul searchers. You know what I mean? Because it was originally Chuck Brown and the Soul Searchers.
So now most of this music, was it played in the park? Was it played in the club? And what clubs were relevant?
Everywhere. Back then, God.
What clubs?
All the way back with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, let's go. Let's go.
See, you need people here like James Funk. Okay, before we go on any further, and you want to talk about go-go, I'm gonna throw some people at you that you need to see if you can interview. You need to see if you can get Sugar Bear from EU. You need to see if you can speak to Big Tony from Trouble Funk. You need to see if you can speak to White Boy and or James Funk from Rare Essence. And they could tell you
more about it.
Yeah, as far as like all the venues and stuff like that.
The Capitol
Man, people
Center.
be sweating.
I couldn't believe it.
Dripping off their bodies, the whole nine, man.
35,000 people. And he held the mic out to the crowd. It was the first time I seen it. He held the mic out to the crowd and all the DMV answered him.
That's James Funk right there.
Yo, what's
James Funk?
It blew my mind, man. It was like, that was my first experience with Rare Essence. Was my first go-go experience.
I got one more question. Well, I got a whole lot of questions.
We got a lot of stuff.
I got
I'll answer as many as I can.
All right. Maniac.
Maniac McLeod.
Yeah.
That is my mentor.
Okay.
I am, I'm to Maniac McLeod what, let's say, Kobe is to Jordan.
Whoa.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean?
That's tough.
Yeah, so he was a guy back in the mid-'70s. Maniac McLeod was probably the most, in my opinion, and probably a lot of guys' opinions, he was probably the most prominent club DJ in this area. It was him and everybody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of the guys that was playing in the clubs back then, like on nights that they weren't playing, they was going to see Maniac.
Gotcha.
Were you his understudy? Like
something like that. I was the fly on the wall. He never set me down and said, all right, cool, you do it like this, you do it like that. I used to go watch him.
But you could see it, and you try to emulate that style.
Yeah, I was watching him. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. Between him and Grandmaster Flash, they were the ones that were my influences as far as being a DJ is concerned. Melly Mel was my earliest influence. Melly Mel and Chuck Brown were my earliest influences as far as being MCs are concerned.
So then you had a
Influences
fusion.
they have.
You had that fusion then.
Already, because
Yeah.
for me being based out of here and growing up with this go-go thing, but
Yeah.
also being a hip-hop cat
Yeah.
at the same time, you know, coming in, you know, around the same time with Flash and Curtis Blow and all of these cats.
Gotcha.
So I was, you know, a lot of these cats called me the bridge. You know what I mean?
Brother bridge the gap.
And so, you know. But I'm going to always represent where I'm from. Like
I
every
see
time
that,
y'all
man.
see
As soon as
me,
I seen you, I seen the big W. I said, "Oh, DC."
That's all you're going to
Everywhere you see him.
Washington.
When he was in Jersey, he had that hat
Yes,
on.
he did.
Everywhere
Yeah.
we run into him, Kool was repping DC
You
hard.
got to do it. You got to do it.
The hardest.
At least I think so anyway.
I got a
Yeah.
question for
Uh-huh.
you. What is DJ Kool's top 5 dead or alive?
Hip-hop?
Doesn't have to be hip hop. It can
be any
your
form.
top 5.
Any music.
All right. Parliament Funkadelic,
Bomb.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ooh.
See, it's levels to this.
Yeah,
Right.
hey, let's get the levels.
3 more.
Chuck Brown.
Chuck Brown, number 3.
Probably Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5. Was
4.
that 4?
Yeah.
He mentions them a lot, so that's a big influence. Yeah.
Chuck D and Public Enemy.
Wow.
Bong.
Wow, that's a list, right?
Bong.
Yeah, that's a list.
Bong.
So I've covered, I guess, funk / R&B music, go-go, and hip-hop. And that's where I'm at. For me, excuse me, I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for hip-hop, I wanted to play keyboards for Parliament Funkadelic. That was my musical
That was my
dream.
next question.
I
Do you
wanted-
play any instruments?
No, because hip hop came along and the turntables and the mixer became my actual
Gotcha.
instrument. If it wasn't for that, once again, I wanted to play beside Bernie Worrell,
Okay.
who
Yep.
in my opinion is the greatest keyboard player that's ever lived, period.
Okay.
And that is not even up for debate. If Herbie Hancock was here or if
You
George,
say that in front of Herbie.
I'm trying to tell you, if
All
Herbie
right.
Hancock was here, he would probably tell you, yo, you know what I mean?
He would give the props.
Yes.
Yeah.
If George Duke, rest in peace, if he was here, I'm quite sure he'd probably say the same thing.
So who are some of the people that you actually work with in this industry?
Now, as far as recording or performing or
Yeah,
maybe both,
actually performing first.
everybody from Sugar Hill Gang to Curtis Blow, all the way up to Jay-Z and you know what I mean?
That's fire.
What
That's
about
fire.
collabos? What about collaborations?
Well, you know me and Redman. Shout out to my nephew. We have a gold record called Let's Get Dirty. Came out in 2001. I've done a couple of records with Rare Essence. I did a record with Chuck Brown in 2012 called Block Party.
Okay.
But there are a lot of people that I've always wanted to work with. I would love to. Right now, I would love to work with T-Pain. I'm a huge T-Pain fan.
Oh.
Does
I
T-Pain
love-
know that?
No.
Did
Well, he's
I don't
gonna
know if
know now.
he'll know now.
He's gonna
T-Pain
know now.
holler at me, for real. I like him. I don't know, man. And then, well, you know, me, Biz, and Dougie.
Yeah,
rest
well,
in
I
peace,
mean,
Biz
that's
Marley.
classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Classic material.
I don't know, man. It's just a lot of cats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What was your? Which one was your favorite one to work with? What was your favorite? Who's your favorite artist that you've ever collabed with? Or
I can't answer
come on,
that.
I know it's a hard question. And everybody
You're
says
gonna
the same
step on some
thing.
toes
I
with
cannot
that.
be on the
Answer
the
that. I
spot
plead
like
the
that.
fifth.
yeah, we're gonna
I
take
can't
that.
because, I mean, Redman, incredible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chuck Brown, incredible. Rare Essence, incredible. Bismarck and Dougie.
Yeah, what was it like working with Dougie?
He is a master.
Yeah, he has
At
he's
his
full of
craft.
energy. Yeah,
Yes, but it's like, just like when we were watching the video earlier.
you matched that energy though
He sure
with that
did.
talk. He was talking that talk.
He's, how can I say, Dougie is a master of improvisation.
Okay,
Just like right on the spot. Just like when we were watching the video.
right.
he was doing the same thing.
When I was showing the video for Clear My Throat, the Tupac thing that he done, which I call the
Yeah.
Tupac tribute. He just came up with that. That was not planned. He just did it, and I just followed him.
Yeah.
Like we've always been very good at following one
Each
another.
other.
You know what I mean?
Question: Prince or Michael Jackson?
Apples and oranges. Apples and oranges.
Prince and Michael Jackson.
Apples.
You
and
gotta choose one, brother.
oranges. Boy, y'all making it hard for me.
Yeah, we're gonna hit you with the couple
I'm a
more.
huge. No, I mean this is crazy.
Okay.
I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. You know, like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Prince fan. Michael Jackson just had this magic about
Yeah.
him, like
There you
just
go.
you know what I mean. But Prince was just a musical genius.
There we go.
Just could play every instrument. You put him in the studio, leave him
Safe
alone.
answer. We need your choice.
Safe answer.
DJ
I
Kool,
don't
we
know.
need
Which
Oh,
one
this
would
is
you work
crazy.
with?
Choice.
Which
Which
one?
one would I work
Oh,
with?
you gonna work
Can
with
I
both?
work with both of them?
But
You got to pick.
you
one.
got one to work with. Which
It's gonna
one
be
you working
Prince.
with?
It's gonna be
Prince.
Prince.
All right.
That's what-
Prince
that's
was
the
it.
answer.
Okay, now here comes the next one. Biggie or Tupac?
Apples and oranges again.
We get them with that every
I
time.
know, right?
Keep that up. We're gonna have a nice fruit salad going on here. Nah, man, like Biggie for the street thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I think Pac was probably the more well-rounded artist because he could give you Dear Mama,
And then change.
and then
Holler if you hear me. And
yeah, Brenda's got a baby, and then hit him up. You know
Homie's
what I mean?
car. Homie's car.
So he's gonna give you the whole spectrum. Biggie was, the street vibe. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I never heard Biggie dropping no knowledge unless it was on some street. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you gonna go with Pac?
If I had to choose, yes, I'm going with Pac.
Pac.
I think he was the more well-rounded.
All right, wait. There's a second part to this question. Is Pac still alive? Are you
I
a
don't think
conspiracy
so.
theorist?
No, not in that.
So you
not in
think-
that
you think
respect.
Pac's
no,
gone?
I think he's. I
Okay.
think we'll see him.
On the other side.
Yes,
Okay.
could be wrong. You never know, but that's what I think.
Now, I'm going to move it to something different. Doing this thing down in D.C., I'm getting ready to hit the Black Lives Matter situation.
Yeah.
How much of an impact do you think the Black Lives Matter movement had in D.C.?
I'm praying for these kids. That's what I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? That went over their head.
Okay.
I tell people that a lot of these children that are perpetuating a lot of the violence that's going on, they need to be shown some love. That's just my opinion. And I think that's across the country. People talk about the stuff that's going on in Chicago, the stuff that's going on in Philadelphia.
It's happening in D.C. also.
Yeah, right, you know what I mean?
Same thing all over. Yeah.
Yeah,
Senseless.
Yeah.
It's senseless.
I think a lot of these kids that are doing stuff like that, they don't have any love in their life. They do not. There's nobody running around here that's acting like that.
So what do you think
It
the
has some
solution
level
is?
of
What
love
can
in
we
their
do
life.
to change it?
We gotta give them, we got love on them, man, and we gotta let them know that we care. You know what I mean? Once again, this is just my
No, that's
opinion.
good. That's
You know
all.
what I mean, because a lot of them, they've never had that. A lot of kids, from what I've heard, a lot of kids would rather be in school than be at home.
Wow.
That's powerful.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the truth, though.
So when you got stuff like that going on, you're raising an individual that doesn't know anything about compassion or empathy or anything like that. They don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Period. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So they'll do anything to anybody.
So how much of impact do you think that the Million Man March had?
because that was here.
Yes, and I
were
was
you
there.
You
Yes,
were
I was right
Okay.
there.
It was a powerful movement at
I think
that
so.
day.
I think so. Yes, incredible. But once again, you have to be of a particular mindset to be able to absorb something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you don't have it, like, mentally, if you're not able to absorb that, then stuff like that's just gonna roll off. To them, it's just a bunch of niggas out there. They don't care nothing about what the minister is talking about. They could care less, which is incredible to me. The minister has had a very, very big impact on my life. I like to thank Chuck D for that. You know what I mean? Farrakhan's a prophet that I think you ought to listen to. You know what I mean?
What you ought to do. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, right.
So I thank Chuck D for that. You know what I mean? But a lot of them will not get it. They could care less.
And do they have a big Islamic movement down here?
Yes.
Nation of Islam? Okay.
But they don't have what we... You know how like hip hop raised us? Like
we were raised, but that's why
by
that's when
hip hop,
they
and they
came
don't have
in.
that. They don't have. They don't have an example, you know, and I don't know if they're ever going to get one back.
Well, even the music that you made, brother, was positive.
Yeah.
Nobody died making that song.
Nah.
Making those music. Dance beats, all that type stuff, the whole movement that you had, that was all positive.
Well, for me, once again, I'm a DJ first. It's DJ Kool, you know what I mean? And so therefore, I'm not necessarily trying to give you a whole bunch of heavy messages or anything about music, even though I do have some songs that I did early on that had a few messages in them. I had a song called For the Brothers in the Ghetto and whatnot, and I was speaking to that, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff going on in the late 80s here with Rayful Edmonds and everything that was going on, you know.
Yeah, I remember Rayful.
Yeah, a lot, and everything. And so I was speaking to that in that particular record, but nobody's looking at me like a Chuck D or like a KRS-One, you know what I mean? Until you get a chance to meet me and we're sitting and we're talking like we're talking right now.
You can see it.
Find out exactly who I am, like for real.
Yeah. Kool always drop knowledge, always, Every time I met you, you gave me a couple gems, and I was like, okay,
keep it moving. And I always try to make sure that somehow, some way, our conversations morph into a spiritual conversation. You know what I mean? Because just like the brothers in the 5% Nation, you know, I would call myself God Body. That's one of the
God
terms
Body
that they use. You know what I'm saying? That's because I'm real
God's
heavy on
nerves.
the spiritual. You know what I mean? On the spiritual side. So somehow or another, we're gonna talk about the Creator on some level. You got to.
Yeah.
I was speaking to a young man one day. I was on a flight. Here's a story.
Let's hear it.
I was coming from overseas, and I was speaking to a guy, black guy. He was coming from, we went to Italy. And so somehow or another, once again, we got on this spiritual conversation, and he said that he was an atheist. I'm like, all right, cool. You can be what you want to be, no problem. But then he told me, he said, man, I want to tell you something. He said, when I was in Italy, he said, I almost got robbed. This dude had a gun in my face and this and that, right? So then he said, I said, well, what did you do, man? He said, I prayed that he didn't kill me.
There it goes. There it is.
Wait a minute.
That's it right there.
I said, wait a minute. Didn't you say you're an atheist? And technically that means that you don't believe in God or a higher power or anything like that. I said, where'd that come from? And he just looked at me. I said, bro, man, let me tell you something. I said, you might not acknowledge it right now, but when it comes, when your time of transition comes, you're going to holler at him, for lack of a better term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're going to call out for something.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't call to you or my mother or my father or no other human, you know what I mean? I don't know, just innately, I would think, you know what I mean, that people would do that.
And a lot of times people don't realize that it's passed down through your family, you know?
I tell people that
you got praying family.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell people, though, that if you don't believe, there's a couple of things that I tell people. I say, first of all, if you don't believe that there's a God or that there's a higher power, look in the mirror. There's no greater creation on the face of the earth than a human being. No man can create a human being. I can't just sit here and I'm take this and take this, and put a human together. Like, we are the most complicated thing on the face of the earth, period. Overall. Any animal
living
form,
being.
Period. You know what I mean? Like, we have the power of speech and everything. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to sit there and ask that dog nothing. He's going to bark at you, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you think this new music is actually responsible for the downfall of our people?
Of our music.
Like
The new music is the downfall of our music,
Our
people,
or of our
like,
people.
our
I
people
would
or-
say the music industry.
There you go. There you go. Well said. Yeah.
All right,
The industry is responsible.
that's
Yeah.
allowing that to be put out in the forefront. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, well, you know, all that stuff they doing now, man, that's whack. This, that, and the other. Okay, well, it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, like the industry, this is what they want. This is what they making their money off of. And all the dopest artists, male and female, in my opinion, they all underground.
Dope.
With the exception of a few. Shout out to Coast Contra.
Oh man. Big Al.
Shout out
Who's
to
hitting
them.
him? I know he's hitting him, right?
Big Al. Did I call it?
Yeah,
I said that dude's bringing it back. I told my nephew and a couple others, he's bringing the art form back.
Shout out to Coast Contra. Shout out to Griselda.
Bong.
Yeah.
Shout out to RJ Payne,
That's
who
Tito's
used to
boy.
be Rain Man.
Yeah,
As
that's
a battle
Tito's
rapper in
boy.
Philly.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rhapsody.
Okay.
There you go.
So that's the type of female MCs that I'm checking for. I'm not checking for strippers. I'm not. That's just my thing.
Yeah.
Jamaicans call that type of activity slutness.
Well, now they're running for presidencies and governments. And
Crazy. You know what I mean?
City council.
I can't, if you sitting up there, got all your TNA out, how can I pay attention to what you're doing musically? And me being a heterosexual man attracted to females, you know what I mean? And you sitting up here showing me everything you got. I can't pay attention, you know what I mean, to what
To
you're
anything
saying.
but that. That's all.
To keep it real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, no. I respect artists like Rhapsody and all of those that are in the lane that she's in. As far
Okay.
as female, I call them queen MCs. That's what I call them.
But I don't know if you and T-Pain get together, we might have some strip club songs.
I don't
We
think
might have
so.
some
No, we're
fast
gonna have
strip
some party
clubs.
stuff.
We
We're
gonna
gonna have some party stuff. We're gonna have some party stuff.
You and
I don't know if
T-Pain
he'll
get
let me
together,
take.
there's gonna be something coming
Well, he'll
out of
probably
that
know
one.
that I ain't gonna go in that
Yeah,
direction. you know what I mean?
yeah.
But so yeah,
Favorite place on earth you've ever been? What's your favorite place? If you could go anywhere
On the planet.
on the planet.
Or off planet. No, I'm
working
into
on
that.
that.
I'm into that.
we working on that part. I like Germany a lot.
Germany. Yeah, I've been there. They're dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Germany is the number 3 hip hop market in the world.
Did not know
Yes.
Yeah,
Didn't know
number
it.
3 is actual, obviously, United States, and Japan is second.
What part of Germany were you in?
Just about everywhere, man.
Munich, Berlin.
Yeah.
Heidelberg.
yeah.
All right.
I used to run with a crew called Heavy Rotation. Shout out to Bruce and Sia from Heavy Rotation. And they took me. Well, I went all over Europe with them. I've been to Dubai 5 times. Let's put it that way.
What's it like over in Dubai?
Dubai is incredible.
And how they treat you over there in Dubai?
Dubai was incredible.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Germany's your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah, they really love hip hop. Even though I did a thing in Warsaw, Poland one time.
Yeah.
Them white folks over there love some hip hop. They act like they ain't
Yeah,
never
they
heard
got
it in
some
their
gangsters.
life.
Yo, they got
DJ Kool rock Warsaw.
Warsaw, Poland. Now, mind you, I'm in there rocking, and so I'm playing stuff like MOP, Annie Up. Soon as you start
that got them hyped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ready to mosh pit.
Yes. These people seem like every song that I'm putting in, man, they just start screaming like they ain't never heard hip hop in their life. I'm like, but I love the energy, and whatnot. You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm.
So what was how old were you when you got your first turntables?
21.
21.
21 years old.
Okay.
My father, I was raised with my mother and my father.
Okay, that's good.
I'm an only child. But my father got killed in a robbery attempt when I was 21 years old.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, rest in peace. That was back in the day. But the crazy thing was the day before he got killed, he was already sick. He had a liver disease. He was a drinking man. Okay. And one day he said, "Listen," he says, 2 things I want to tell you. Say, if anything ever happened to me, right? I said, I want you to take care of your mother, and I want you to make something of yourself. The very next day, my father got killed in a robbery attempt, right? So, to make a long story short, he left me some money, through the insurance and this and that. And once again, this was back when me watching Maniac McCloud.
Maniac.
I'm going to get me 2 turntables and a mixer. My first mixer was a Gemini mixer. And I had 2, what they call BSR at the time, BSR turntables.
Okay.
That's what I could afford at the time, and that's what I started honing my craft on.
When'd you get your first 12s?
Well, remember, I'm from 77, so I was pre-Technique 1200. Back then, we had the Technique 1800, which was belt-driven. Yeah. But it had the 1200 turntable that we see now, that's where they got the platter design. It was from Technique 1800s.
Did the 1800 have the 2 pitch control knobs on it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Things you should know.
Yes.
Things DJ should know.
Yeah, so that's what I started on. And that's why I actually developed the very light touch, because you couldn't just push that. You had to develop that light touch, because if you did that thing, it was belt driven. So if you push that thing too hard, it's going to run on you.
Yeah.
So,
So when did you know that you actually had something? When did you get the crowd moving? When was the first time you had the crowd moving?
Well, just like I said, I started as a DJ in 77, but I was working with a company called the Sound Service. So I was a mobile DJ for 2 years. Okay. I started in the clubs in 1979. Shout out to a cat named Richard Jefferson. He was working at a club called the Paragon 2. At the time, this was in Georgetown on Wisconsin Avenue, Northwest D.C. Mm-hmm. And he happened to see me somewhere doing something for the Sound Service. He said, "Man, you good enough to be playing in clubs." He said, "I work at the Paragon too, but I'm about to leave there. You need to go up there and get that job." That was 1979. I went up there and I got that job. And I played at the Paragon from 79 to 82. Maniac McCloud, once again, he had kind of taken me under his wing by then. So 1982, I get a call from him. No, actually, I seen him. A club that I used to work at, that he worked at, that I used to see him at, was called The Room. And that was in Northwest D.C. As well. A lot of D.C. people know where, if you're of a particular age, they would know that club. So I'm down there rocking with him. And he said, "Cool, I'm about to leave The Room." He said, "I'm going to," I think he said he went to the Ibex, which is another club that I wound up going to afterwards. But he said, I'm going to the Ibex. You need to go to The Room and get that job." I went down there December 1982, got that job. But the reason why he told me to come down there was because he said, "Man, I heard about what you've been doing up at the Paragon." Mm-hmm. He said, "I think you're the only DJ that can handle this club." The Room was open 6 nights a week.
What kind of crowd was you getting?
It was an urban crowd.
Okay.
Urban
How many
crowd.
people?
The Room was a small club. I would say maybe 400 to 500, and that was packed like sardines. You know what I mean? But once again, this place was open 6 nights a week. Tuesday through Thursday and Sunday, it was open from 9 to 2. Fridays and Saturdays, it was open from 9 to 6.
Now, did you play
one
all
DJ?
week long?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, before that, Maniac played all that time. Then when I came,
He
I
was
had to
getting
follow
that
the same
money
schedule.
early.
So wait, you played 6 nights?
6 nights a week, but only making $50 a night back then.
Yeah.
It's $300 a week.
That was still
though.
money then.
Yeah.
That
back
was money
then.
then.
That was a nice piece of, yeah, back then that was a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a one-man operation. Back then, you didn't have opening and closing DJs. If you worked at a club, you worked the whole night. You worked from opening to closing by yourself.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the one
We just
DJ.
gotta tell you, you're preaching right now.
Yeah.
This is all
Let's
stuff
talk
that
about
we've
it.
been
Let's talk
talking-
about it.
Yeah, one DJ all night. It was no such thing as an opening and a closer. I didn't see that kind of stuff happening until probably, I don't know, late 90s or so,
Yeah.
early 2000s. But every club that I ever worked at, from 79 all the way up to the last club that I worked at here, was a place called the Legends.
Legends.
Rest in peace to my man Kevin.
Legendary.
There you go. That was 1996. I was the only DJ all night. But The Room, once again, Fridays and Saturdays from 9 to 6 in the morning. I did that for 4 years at that club. And in my opinion, I think that's when I was my best skill wise, because back then, that's when all the new scratch techniques were coming in. That's when I met DJ Cash Money, and they taught me how to transform and all this kind of stuff. I brought him to the room and I seen him do it. He did it using LL Cool J, Rock the Bells. I sat right there and I watched him do it. I said, "Oh, it's a cross."
He's known for that.
thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was known for that. Yeah.
Shout out to Cash Money.
Yeah.
You know what
Now,
I
was
mean?
you talking then? Yeah.
Always been DJ MC.
Okay.
Because that was Maniac.
That's a heck of
That was Maniac McLeod, DJ/MC.
We gotta get you to a DJ Kool party.
I would love to go to a DJ.
It's over, bro. It's over.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
We gotta hear that before we leave. We gotta hear one of them
like-
joints. Let me clear my.
I can't even.
Yo, he had everybody hyped.
Yo,
To this day, they play that joint and everyone's wilding out.
this is a couple years ago. It was before COVID. Atlantic City, I think it was Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Man, they Boardwalk Hall.
Yo, he came
Incredible
out.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
just- the energy just, you could feel it. Like, you could feel the rumble of the crowd in your chest.
Everybody
and-
gets hyped as soon as they hear it. I don't care what year it is.
And
You
then
know
he
what I
comes
mean?
off the stage and he just he's like right back to DJ Kool. I was like, how do you go from 100 back down to 20, brother? Like, he just
I don't know. I love what I do. I mean, I guess that's my gift. You know what I mean?
definitely a gift.
Shout out to DJ Mark 45. I mean, 45 King. Because if it wasn't for him, for the most part, it probably wouldn't even be a Let Me Clear My Throat. That whole thing was because of that track.
Okay.
So did you make it first and then, or were you already signed to that label when it came out? Like, how did that whole thing come about?
Okay. For the 1 billionth time, here's the story of Let Me Clear My Throat. One night, I used to play at a club in the early 90s in Richmond, Virginia, called Ivory's Uptown Lounge. Shout out to Steve Branch. He was the owner of that club. And I was there on Tuesdays. I had a big college night thing down there. Ivory's was a very central location in Richmond as far as the HBCUs are concerned. 5 minutes down the street, you had Virginia Union. Right behind Ivory's, this was not an HBCU school, but it was a D1 school. You had VCU. 20 minutes south of Richmond in Petersburg, you had Virginia State.
Yeah, so you had a big college community.
Right there.
And everybody's there.
Every Tuesday night, I had, obviously the locals, but I had DC and
Virginia,
Maryland,
all that.
New York, Philly, Jersey, right? People from the Carolinas all the way down as far as maybe, I don't know, Atlanta, maybe even further. I would see people in there from Miami and stuff like that, all going to one of those 3 schools. So this particular night, I was playing the 900 number, and I was getting ready to say something. I don't know what I was about to say, but I was going to say something. Something actually got caught in my throat, and I played it off. And just trying to be as spontaneous as I could be. And I used a line from a Beastie Boys record when he said, "Let me clear my throat. It's the new style." I just said, "Let me clear my throat." So I said, and I coughed, and I said, "God damn." So then the crowd started going back and forth with that. So then the very next week, I told people the week before, I said, "Look, I'm about to record the song called 20-Minute Workout." That was a routine that I bought down there that I started here, using the Dougie Fresh song, "I'm Getting Ready."
Now, what was the 20-minute workout?
20-minute workout wasn't nothing but the last 20 minutes of the club. The 20-minute workout was this routine that I did that was basically using call and response. It's DC in the
Getting
house.
people involved, waking up the
Virginia in the
crowd,
house,
yeah.
It's New York in the house, that right there. Off of that track. So I told everybody that I was going to record that song next week because I had been doing that routine for a year, and I would always do that right at the end of the night.
Last 20 minutes
now they
of
be
the night was
rocking
the
with me,
workout.
right? They rock with me all night because I'm playing hip hop, reggae, go-go, everything. But they waiting on that 20.
They're waiting on
workout.
that. They're waiting on that 20.
Soon as we get into that, boy, they crazy. So I said, "All right, y'all, next week we're gonna record 20-minute workout live." So the very next week, no, I'm sorry, it was 2 weeks when we actually recorded that. The very next week, people came in the club. Cool, you gonna clear your throat tonight? You gonna clear your throat? What the hell
That's
they
crazy.
talking about?
That's crazy.
I was like, oh, they talking about that debacle that I had last week. I said, yeah, why not? So then, when it was time to record 20-minute workout, I put the actual, like a snippet of what became Clear My Throat at the end of the 20-minute workout.
So that's
single.
where the
the call.
Man, the 20-minute workout.
See how that
So
works?
yeah, it
So
came
then
from
I
the
got-
20-minute
Resilience.
Well, kind of, sort of, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was what was going on with me at the time when I was playing 900 number. I got a call from Don Mystic Mac, who used to be on air.
Philly,
Down in
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He said, cool. He said, man, he said, you got these people going off up here in Philly on this 20-minute workout record. He said, but you really need to see whatever they doing off that, whatever you doing off that 900 number, when you be coughing, and you need to come up here and see that. So they had Powerhouse that year. He said, man, you need to come up. So I came up. DJ Rand was playing for intermission at Powerhouse.
Okay.
So he rocking some joints. He drops the snippet of Clear My Throat. 16,000 people in the whole
Everybody
stage
went crazy.
stood up. So
Ballistic.
Me and my DJ at the time, shout out to DJ 20, we looking around like, what the hell? So then the little light bulb came on over my head. Boop. All
That's
right,
it.
That's a
That's
record.
what they want.
Let me go
They
home,
got it.
put that together. So then my manager, Walt Reeder Jr., Big Block Entertainment.
Salute
Cool.
to Walt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool. I got a show booked for you up here at Bahama Bay. So
Legendary.
I told him, right there at Dale Avenue. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm gonna record Clear My Throat up there that night. He was the only one in Philly that knew that we was recording that night. Nobody in the audience knew that we were doing a live recording. I had the mobile recording engineer set up back there, so when you hear me say 1, 2, 3, hit me with the DJ. What I say 20, hit me with the horns, man. And the rest is history. So we did that live in one take at Bahama Bay, the original recording for Clear My Throat. Mm-hmm.
But I just learned some DJ Rand actually kind of pre-broke
He did.
the record.
He did.
Shout out to Rand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him in a long time. Is he still? I haven't seen him in a long time.
I spoke to Rand, a couple years ago. He was doing something with the NFL. You know, he was doing something with the wrestlers.
Yeah, I heard about that,
The
yeah.
wrestlers, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So yep, and the record came out and just. Phew. So here's a fun fact of things that went on that night. First of all, Kool C. Shout out to
Kool C.
Cool.
He performed that night and he did the Glamorous Life.
Glamorous Life.
And for some reason, Philly booed the hell out of that dude. And I'm like, what
Wow.
the hell is going on here? I don't know what it was. Might have been some street stuff going on at the time. So that was confusing to me. So then later on that night, we go to Gotham's.
Okay.
I see Steady B in there. What up, Steady? Now, I've been
Oh,
on Steady
snap.
since '88,
Yeah.
right? So we chopping it up, and I said, "Yeah, man, what's good?" He say, "Man, we on some new stuff now, this and that and the other." So I'm thinking he talking about music. You know what I mean? So
Oh, snap.
hold on, wait a minute. So I'm thinking he's talking about
snap.
music.
He wasn't talking about music.
And he says,
He's on
and
some
I
new
said,
shit.
hey, yo, right? So I says, yeah, that's what's up, man. I say, your fans, you know what I mean? They waiting to hear from you. Next thing you know, I get home and I open up the Jet magazine and I find out what happened. I'm like, what? This
Jet
new
magazine.
Stuff that he talk. Yeah, Jet.
Jet magazine.
That's how long ago this was. Yeah, this was 96.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, what? So then I found out the whole, you know what I mean?
They was
like
on
what
some
they
new
was
shit.
doing. It's just like he
Definitely
said.
on some new shit.
And
yeah.
so shout out to them cats, man. I heard that Kool C has a stay of execution now.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard because he's in Pennsylvania, I think.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Yeah.
they're not executing.
No, they're not doing nothing
Right,
up there.
so right. Crazy.
The craziest part was they wore costumes, and I think this is urban folklore now, but Kool C was dressed as a construction worker. Now you remember Kool C was a tall dude,
Right.
So even with the construction hat on, everybody that was there was probably like, "What Kool doing in
Right.
the back?" You know?
We ain't gonna get the interview now.
They're
Right.
not going to
the
give us the
interview.
interview anyway. We can't go inside. But
But I'm saying, it's like, I still couldn't believe the way that they treated him that night at the show because I'm saying he's Philly. The Glamorous Life was a huge record. I'm like,
Huge.
what
They must
the
have
hell
knew
did you
something.
do?
The
Yeah,
people
it
must
was
have knew
some-
something.
Yeah,
Yes,
some street
people
stuff.
knew something.
You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Tommy Hill, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Ram Squad.
Ram Squad,
You know
rest
what I
in
mean?
peace. This
Shout
is
out
like-
to Lux.
It's good.
Lux too. I know I'm just smiling
Hey,
ear to ear.
let's
'cause
get it. Let's get it.
DJ Kool is like a hip hop dictionary.
Yeah,
I'm
shout
like, oh,
shout
yeah,
out to Lux. You know what I mean? Shout out to MC Breeze.
Breeze, yeah.
Like Philly cats, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what happened. Philly used to be like the number 2
It-
market in hip hop.
number 2.
And then it just
It disappeared.
well, our music kind of disappeared. What do you think about what? Do you think it's ever coming back, or you think it's?
Well, he just told you.
we had
Contra.
yeah.
That
but
boy's
no,
bad. Yeah, he's
But is it
bad.
ever going to come back to how we had it? Like it was.
Probably not.
Yeah, I think it was. I think that.
They have torn that whole
Well,
thing
the
apart.
fabric is torn.
Right.
And it has to do with that dollar sign.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you got to go where the money's at. And that's what they're thinking. You know what I mean?
I'm not crazy, and this is just me talking, old school guy. I'm not crazy about the way that the industry is structured.
Me either.
Like the way that things go down, like from radio and everything. And, it's all about streaming. You gotta have big numbers on TikTok and all some kind of stuff. Like, I mean, it is what it is. This is our new norm and all of
Yeah,
that.
these
but
kids are making
I'm
more
like,
money than
they
any
are.
other.
Making more money than we ever thought
ever.
about making. Yeah,
But
like-
they signing. Where's my T-shirt at? Speaking of 360s,
Oh, them deals. You talking
Right.
about them deals, yeah.
right?
We got the
360 deals. I had a
We got a
T-shirt.
360
Yeah,
T-shirt
yeah.
over there. Bang.
Yeah, see,
There we
they're
go.
signing 360 deals. So let me just, if y'all could, that doesn't have anything to do with
That
this.
has nothing to do with Big
Right.
Out 360.
But since we talking about 360 and whatnot,
Not
you know what I mean?
involved.
Right. That's something that nobody from my era. Well, first of all, it didn't exist. Number one, back then in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, they didn't touch your show money. They didn't touch,
No,
your
no.
endorsements. None of that. They didn't pay you. The
Right.
record company was notorious for ripping you off, but you still could go make your money. Yeah, I don't. I don't.
Yeah,
Understand.
you can make money off merch and all that kind of stuff, but it's a lot different now. They taking these kids' money and they don't understand.
So what?
Taking publishing everything.
Yeah. So what is actually the difference with the independent movement that was happening
Back then or now? Or what?
now? Like, well, there was independent then, but there's a lot of people doing independent movement now, right?
Well, yeah, we just learned from history that
Okay.
do it yourself. Don't let them
The
in on your
360
money,
deals
what I
and all
mean?
that.
But you don't have the same power that they have.
Number one and number two,
Yeah.
you got to be able to afford to do
There
that.
you go. There
Oh,
you go.
got you.
Yeah,
Because
you gotta
from-
have the pocketbook to do that,
Right,
man.
because from a
Yeah.
marketing and promotional standpoint, you know what I mean, you really got to be able to afford to do that, to really get your stuff out
What
there.
they
I
say
heard
is
a guy,
$200,000
at least,
a single.
at least,
to work a single
as far as radio is concerned.
per single.
But well, why am I even caring about radio when a
Is
lot of
radio-
these kids not even listening
They're
to
not
radio?
now. Everything's
Do you
on
think radio
YouTube
They
and all
listening
that.
to TikTok and all
Do you
of
think
that.
it's dead? You think?
Radio, they on life support.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It's a lot of people. I mean, look at it, there's a lot of cats not even in the studios anymore. And this was before
They're sitting at home
COVID.
doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Sitting in their own
Using
crib.
setups just like this.
Yeah,
Sit
doing their
at
own
home
stuff.
and no mixing, no mastering, just boop, pop it out. And
TikToking.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop it.
but the crazy
Party
part is
rock.
the money they're getting,
Huh?
like
If you can
Dirt.
get it going, yeah.
$300,000 a wop for a show. That's like,
But once again, because of the power of social media and the internet, you know what I mean? But you gotta thank old Soulja Boy for that.
yeah.
You know what? And he keeps telling people that. He's like, y'all be, dissing me, this, that, the other, but I'm the one to put people on.
That's a fact.
Now, do you think that also with this social media, there's a resurgence with the older school rappers? Do you think is it breathing life into them now?
I think, well, to a particular degree,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Because of TikTok. you know, a lot of these songs is blowing up all the way back over again on TikTok.
I mean, I salute TikTok. TikTok helped me, man.
Yeah, you're ticking and talking, B.
TikTok is crazy.
Salute TikTok.
But I don't know. It's
I was about to say it, but
though.
I ain't going to because I don't know if, you know,
What's that?
if somebody could capitalize on your song.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the internet, powerful tool if you know how to use it.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Are you implementing the internet?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
See, I'm one of them people. I'm smart enough to know that. Look, if I don't know how to do it,
You got somebody.
you know how to do it. Now let you do it. You know what I'm saying?
No
You
doubt.
know how to do it. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and I learned from from those folks.
Okay. What? Give me out of all this, out of the life of DJ Kool. What's the memory that you cherish? What's your favorite?
One of your
memory?
biggest moments.
Your biggest, like,
Got a bunch of them.
Yeah, just one main one that like
that just stands out. Like,
wake
this
up and
is
like, damn, this is it.
This was the dopest shit that ever happened in my life. It was just that one of them moments that you just are always gonna remember.
I don't have a number one moment. I don't. I got a bunch of number one moments.
Share some of
So
them.
you
That's what
create
I
the
can do.
moment.
No, I'm just saying, just a bunch of number one moments I've
hey.
actually been through.
Give me a
to
couple
me,
of them.
Opening with DJ Khaled, opening for Beyonce
Dope.
with DJ Khaled.
That's dope.
And that's because he called me, and I
That's
thought it was a
major.
prank phone call, and it was actually him.
Yeah, but that was dope that he reached out like that.
Mm-hmm. And then, and that was 2016, and then in 2018, getting an opportunity to open once again with DJ Khaled for Jay-Z and Beyonce. In 2016, when I got an opportunity to open for Beyonce with Khaled, believe it or not, I met who was then, well, in my opinion, our greatest vice president ever, in Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
I met her by circumstance. I actually ran directly into it because I'm looking at this little entourage. Me and my cousin, they was rushing us to the stage. But I seen this
Where
entourage.
was this at?
I'm sorry, this was at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Where the Ravens play. So I see this entourage coming towards me. I'm not really paying attention because, all right, cool, we got to get to the stage, that type of thing. But as this crowd getting closer to me, I'm like, damn, that woman look familiar. Oh shit, that's Michelle Obama. So next thing you know, I'm right here with her. And my country ass, I ain't know what to say because I never met a public official, you know what I mean? So I bowed down to her. I said, if I may introduce myself, you know what I mean? I told her who I was and I told her about my song. And so she laughing at me now, right? She bows down back to me, DJ Kool, I know exactly who you are, and I love Let Me Clear My Throat. I could have shit my pants at that moment.
Dope.
That's
crazy.
Dope.
That's
So
crazy.
this by then I forgot all about Beyonce. Oh, I'm actually here to go out and do this thing with Beyonce. Oh, okay. So that was one thing. Performing with Stevie Wonder
Oh my goodness.
at one of his events. Didn't know that I was handpicked by him to be a part of that event. That's this big thing that he does, and they average like 300,000 to 400,000 people out there. This thing they do in LA right there in Crenshaw, in the Crenshaw district. Incredible. I met the man,
Stevie
took pictures
Wonder.
with him. I told him who he was. He started, let me clear my throat. I'm like, what? Now this Steve, I say, now they say you can't see, but I think you lying. You got to be
you
looking
didn't
at me. That was a moment.
Stevie Wonder cleared his throat.
Yeah, man.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
The New Edition tour. Incredible.
This last one? or-
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The Culture Tour. Shout out to my manager, Walt Reeder Jr. He was the one that made that one happen. Shout out to the BPC, which is the Black Promoters Collective, which is a bunch of promoters from across the country that actually put that together. Shout out to Brooke Payne and Mike Bivens. And shout out to all the artists and performers that were on there, which was Uncle Charlie Wilson.
Charlie
And-
Wilson.
Yep. And and Jodeci. while I was on that tour, I found out that myself and Casey and JoJo are distant cousins on my mother's side.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And I found that out officially. So, and it's kind of crazy because it's weird to me because every time that I've been around KC, spent a lot of time with him, not necessarily JoJo, but KC, like he always have all this energy when he come around me, and I almost wonder why. So I've always heard this through my family on my mother's side. Well, you know they some kin to us, this and that. Maybe not.
Yeah, you hear it. Yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But my people on my mother's side from the Carolinas, they're from South Carolina. Casey and JoJo and them from North Carolina. They're from Monroe, North Carolina. So I told one of my cousins, I say, look, man, while I was out on Ross, I'm going to be seeing him every night. I say, text me some names that I could throw at him. And so me and KC chopping it up. I said, well, look here. I said, champ. I said, I got some names right here. You know who son is? Yeah, that's my uncle. Dun. I said, you know who son? Yeah, that's cousin. Blah 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 blah. I said, wait, man, let me get mama on the phone. He gets mama on the phone. I got Kool here. He talking about son. He said, yeah, that's blah 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, what's up, cuz?
Family.
What's up, cuz? It's crazy.
Family reunion.
distant cousins, but yeah.
No, it happens.
And they're also kin to Anthony Hamilton. You know, he's out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and they're also kin to Fantasia.
That brother can sing. Both of them can sing.
Fantasia's
Oh, my
out of
God.
Carolina.
Yeah, Fantasia Barrino. She's out of High Point, North Carolina.
Carolina breeds them, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes them.
They got singers down there. You know what I mean? So yeah, those are some of the most incredible
when you met
moments.
Casey and JoJo, cousin Casey and JoJo, they had
Yes.
the same blood, the same super
That energy,
Cool
the hype.
guy.
Especially
Yeah.
KC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Kool can turn it on and off. You see him backstage, you're like, hey, it's cool. And when he gets on stage, it's like
Someone just
jumping
plugged him in.
cables.
Yeah, they plugged him in.
It comes, and then it's just like, oh man.
So those are some of the moments when we first got the gold record for Clear My Throat, which is a little bit controversial.
What
to
label
me.
was that on?
That was American Records, but it
American
started
Records.
off on an indie label
What?
out of Baltimore called CLR Records. Shout
American
out to
was
Steve
Rubin?
Janis. Yes,
Rick Rubin?
Rick Rubin.
So now, what made it controversial? Can you talk about it first?
A little bit. What I can say is during the time that I was signed to American Records, that whole situation just kind of went a little bit crazy. I was told that the distribution deal had been lost that they had with Warner. Yeah. So they fired everybody in the black music division.
Wow.
My record went gold in 2 months. We were number 3 on the pop radio charts across the country in 2 weeks. So we actually went pop. But at the time of the split, they basically took their hands off my record. So technically 26 years later, I was supposed to have a platinum record, maybe multi-platinum record by now, which is incredible. So we're still researching that situation.
Chalk it up to the music business, bro.
Sound familiar?
Yep.
It does.
But I'm quite sure I'm quite sure we got a platinum record, at least a platinum record. I mean, this is 26 years later.
What do you want the world to remember about DJ Kool? What do you want your mark? What are you leaving planet Earth besides your hit records?
I don't know, man. I just want people to know that I've always tried to be a solid person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody that you could trust, because there's not a lot of people that you can really trust in this industry. Like, for real.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, I'm finding that out.
This is very
It's crazy.
You're dealing with a lot of devious individuals. You're dealing with a lot of devils, a lot of snakes, a lot of dogs, a lot of lowlifes, and it's all
Demons.
because of the money. That's all it is. It doesn't have anything to do with anybody personally. It's just the money and the amounts of money that are involved that make people act the way that they act. And with that being said, I just tried to make sure that I didn't succumb to that. Is what these young ones call selling their soul nowadays and all that kind of stuff. No, so I wanna leave that. Nobody never say, well, cool, you know. And plus, nobody would never say that like I got brand new, or as we say here in DC, turn Hollywood and all that kind of stuff. I ain't never been that cat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Southeast, and that's it. You know what I mean?
We got one more record coming out of you?
I have a song right now called Cha Cha Cha.
Look for it. Cha Cha Cha.
Yes, this is actually a remix that we put out now. This one is featuring Cupid from Cupid Shuffle and Big Moochie from the Biker Shuffle, who I call the kings of line dance.
It's out
music.
now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Dope. Everybody
Cha-cha-cha,
check
all
that
streaming.
out.
Yeah, Cha Cha Cha. Yeah.
Another dope interview.
I know, DJ Kool. Yo, we can't thank you enough, brother. Like,
Much love.
I mean, I'm quite sure some other things you want to talk about. I'm here. Y'all done got me out the house now.
Oh, well, now I got you in here.
Yeah.
You
Go
want
ahead,
to talk
ask some
about
questions,
political?
then.
You want to talk about political figures? Marion Barry.
Marion Barry is always going to be the mayor for life.
There it is.
Dope.
Period.
Dope. That's
No
all I
matter
wanted to
what.
know.
Period. I was a part of his summer youth jobs program and all that old kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Marion Barry, despite what he was going through,
Don't
you know what I'm
matter. He got the job done.
saying?
He was doing it.
At the end of the day, so he is our mayor for
So
life.
I couldn't come to DC
Period.
without asking somebody from DC
Yeah,
about
man.
the good brother.
Yes. Period. You better not go somewhere and talking bad about Marion Barry.
Hey,
That's
I
a
ain't say
fight.
nothing.
I'm just saying. I'm just letting you know. That's a fight right there. Straight up.
Well, once again, we got to thank you. It's thank you so much. I
I
can't say it
appreciate it.
enough. I can't, like, wait, I was calling, I was putting the call in, I
Man,
was putting
he
the
been
call in,
calling.
and I was pacing. I was like, he ain't answering
We
the call.
can't
He
get
ain't
him. We
called me
can't
back.
get him. He didn't
And then
call
it was
me
one
all
of them
week
days
long.
I woke up and he said, your phone's ringing. I said, DJ Kool. And I answered it. And then he talked for like 2 hours. I was like, yes.
You can
Like,
see this genuine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's coming right here. He's
100%.
with us.
We love you. We salute you. We thank you so much for coming on our show. Once again, we
Go ahead and clear your
thank
throat,
everybody
brother.
for
Clear your
watching.
throat.
Oh, let me clear my throat. Oh, real quick. This Wednesday, I will be presenting Grandmaster Flash with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the RIAA.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
What?
And that's happening this Wednesday here in DC.
Well
MC Light is
deserved.
going to be there. Big Tigger is going to be there. Jazzy Jeff is going to be there.
We might have to.
And
We
I'm
might
gonna-
have to be
and
back
I'm
down
gonna
here.
be
We
the
might have to
presenter.
get back down here.
Hopefully they'll give me one day. I don't know. Hopefully before
You're
before
gonna
I
get it.
transition or what have you.
Yeah, you deserve one. You definitely deserve one.
I hope so for
You're-
DC. You know what I mean? For DC,
Yeah, you represent DC well,
DC,
brother.
DC is my heart, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to get emotional. Like I love my city. Like I really, really do. You know what I mean? That's what made me who I am. You know, a lot of people say, well, man, would you ever live anywhere else and this and that? And I've thought about it. One time I was thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. It's because I was getting a lot of action down that way. You know what I mean? And I stayed, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Came back home. I had to come back home. I got to stay close to the plug. You know what I mean?
That energy.
And also just staying close to my daughter. My daughter's in Charlottesville, Virginia now. She's a news correspondent for a TV station. And she also anchors for a TV station in Charlottesville, Virginia.
That's hot.
That's
So,
powerful.
Yep, that's my only child. I'm proud of her. So I do everything that I'm doing now is for her. And I tell people all the time, the correct order of things as far as my life is concerned is God, my work, and my child. And it has to be in that order.
Dope.
You know what I mean? It has to be in that order. It can't be God, my child, and my work, because without the work, I wouldn't be able to take care of
your
her.
child.
You see what I'm saying? So, and then without God, you can't do nothing. And that's just my opinion. Shout out to all the atheists in the building. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Oh man. So we're gonna do this again. Finally.
Yeah.
Thank you, DJ Kool.
We can do it.
And one more thing. No, I'm just
No, keep going, brother. Hey,
Yeah, we're here. It's-
we're here now.
But we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And until next time,
Bong.
hold that.
peace sign. Not this, but this.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Bong.
Together. Right.